Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You are now back with the Wave Runners podcast. I'm Bird. Follow me on Instagram at Bird is the Word.
And it's the Finesse King himself. You can follow me on Instagram at Finessely Snipes. We're back with episode 7. You feel me? Yes, sir. And today we're going to talk about self-reflection and toxicity. With your toxic ass. The fuck?
It's too many toxic.
It's too many toxic people, toxic things going on.
Right.
With everything going on in the world, we've seen like a lot of people speaking out. Like, you know, our last episode was about George Floyd and all of that good stuff. And we've seen a lot of celebrities
trying to come put their 2 cents in a sense,
which they should have just kept. You feel me? And then backpedaling and all that. So we got some of the bigger ones was Blueface, Trina,
Drew Brees.
You know what I'm saying? And what the fuck?
They should have just kept their mouth shut because now you look bad.
So with the start off with the Trina situation. So I guess they have a morning show or something like that. Trickin' Trina or whatever. I don't know.
Okay. I actually didn't see it. So you
didn't even see it? Okay.
Me.
So and I don't listen to the show or anything like that, but I seen the clip. And basically I think honestly the point that she was trying to make with what she was saying, she was just going off. She called black people animals. She was like, she went in. Calling black people animals, was talking about people looting and stealing from the different businesses and destroying things and all of that good stuff. I think that the point that she was trying to make was the point that we made last week.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? With just saying like, hey, yeah, we're all angry. Let's protest. Let's have our voice be heard. Let's do whatever. If you choose to riot, you choose to do this, you choose to do whatever. Leave the black businesses out of it. One of her friends' businesses.
Okay, so she was emotional.
She was emotional, and she was speaking from a typical fucking woman, toxic. You know what I mean? Speaking from an emotional standpoint, and it just came off wrong. It was bad, and
she apologized.
She had to, nigga. They was calling for her to be canceled, straight like that. Like niggas,
they want her whole show off.
Everything, like everybody was calling for her to just in the community as a whole, like in the black community, nigga, you're canceled. You know what I'm saying? You call black people animals.
Yeah.
And then Blueface was in the store saying something about I need the George Floyd discount. I need the Black Lives Matter discount. Just irresponsible. Yeah. You making a joke at the wrong time. Like, this ain't the time for that.
It's not the time for it. And that's how Drew Brees was. Yeah. Drew Brees was on the show, and he was talking about, I'll never, in a sense, like, I'll never respect or be with someone who is disrespecting the flag. But that's the wrong time to talk about this.
Yeah.
With people kneeling in the Colin Kaepernick situation, this is what people doing right now. This is not the time for you to talk about you're not going to be with these people.
Facts.
You need to be with these people at this time because these are the people that are fighting right now on the streets, protesting, rioting, doing whatever they're doing. And then you want to backpedal on your situation.
For such a major cause, and you just completely disregarded what everything stood for.
Correct. Being toxic.
Toxic.
Because his teammates going to be like,
Set. Fuck that nigga up. Get him.
Fuck him. This one on the house.
Yeah, get him. You know what I'm saying? Fuck this game. House. Get that nigga. You feel me?
This one on the house.
Yo, fuck it. As a matter of fact, speaking of the whole like current event situation, last episode you also talked about we had the debate or the discussion about the officer getting all right toxic first degree, second degree, or third degree.
Correct. Murder.
Yeah.
And it's second degree.
I said third degree.
But I can also say, when it comes to the judicial system, sometimes it can be a good thing or a bad thing that happened because it's easier for them to prove the third degree. The second degree may be harder for them to actually prove. It may give a harder sentence and a longer. But the
good thing about that is that when you and I said this when I seen that they gave him second degree because I still believe that it's third degree. And again, I'll say it again. You could give him a life sentence. You could sentence him to death.
Right.
I don't care.
It wouldn't matter.
I'm just going by the definition of the book. Like, not saying I'm trying to cover for him because you deserve everything you get plus more. But I think that what happens is they probably move to second. Number one, with everything going on, you got to make sure that you make us feel like, no, we actually doing what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
But I think also when you give him second degree, if he takes a plea deal, maybe they can lower the sentence and it'll still be third degree.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? If you start off at third degree, what do you going
to? He cop out
after that, you know what I mean? It's going to be manslaughter.
Okay.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So
I can look at it like that.
Yeah, because he's probably definitely going to do some type of plea deal. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely going to cop a plea.
Second degree.
Yeah. Part of me being not being toxic, you know what I'm saying, because I'm working on myself, is admitting I'm wrong.
That's what you got it, bro. I can fuck with that. But that's what you gotta do, like individuals who are being toxic. So explain it though, because people don't understand toxicity and how it is, and people don't even know how to actually explain that they are toxic themselves.
Are you toxic? Let's go into
Are
it.
you?
So if you're watching this, you're toxic. You know what I'm saying? You need to
Probably
self-reflect.
toxic. We gonna help you out, all right?
Yeah,
Don't worry.
Self-reflect with your toxic ass. You know,
For real.
and no cap. So are you toxic? So the first thing that comes to my head about a toxic person is, I would say their interaction with everybody that's around them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, do you beef with everybody that's around you?
Right.
Have you ever met somebody like that where it's like, nigga, you got beef again? Like, nigga, we damn near
Everybody.
30
They burn
years
bridges.
old.
Everybody is burnt bridges everywhere.
Yeah,
It's like, dang, man, they ain't even do nothing that deep. Or you burning bridges because you so toxic and what you bring to the table is just like, I can't even deal with that person. I have one specific person in mind that I can say is toxic. Every situation is a burnt bridge.
I feel like I know somebody like that too.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, what the fuck?
I feel like I know somebody like that. The next thing I would say is controlling. Ask yourself as you're watching this, am I beefing with everybody? Am I controlling?
Right.
That's my toxic trait.
Which one? Controlling?
Not beefing with everybody, controlling. Because I don't even beef. Like, I just cut you off.
Right.
But controlling, I like shit my way. Like, it's weird. I got halfway, like, only child syndrome. But I like everything how I want it. And my thought process has always been, if it's not going to be, this is my life. You feel me? So if it's not going to be how I want it, why am I doing it?
Right.
You got one life to live.
Right.
But then as I got older, I understood that you being so controlling, that nigga, that's toxic. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You got to
can't
be able to
control
compromise.
everything. Exactly.
And be able to be like, okay, we can meet in the middle somewhere.
Exactly.
Let me hear you out. Individuals, a toxic trait is you don't want to see things from other people's perspective.
Guaranteed, yeah.
And that can become controlling because you don't want to see stuff from other people's perspective. You don't see like, okay, maybe they right, or maybe I'm right here and they right there. But let's come to a medium ground on it.
Have you ever had a conversation with somebody or argument with somebody, and they are clearly wrong? Mm-hmm. Clearly, like it's like black and fucking white. Like I don't even understand how you don't understand that you're fucking wrong. And they just won't even try to see it from your perspective. They won't try to even think about anything, look at anything. They'll just be like straight like, well, this is the situation that happened. I don't feel like I'm wrong, so nigga, I ain't wrong.
And that's heat in the moment. They don't want to think. They don't want to sit back and be like, you know what? Let me hear what they saying. Is a constant over talking situation.
Yeah.
It's like you got to hear me out for a second. Wait for one moment. I promise you, I'm gonna get to the point, but I gotta let you know where I'm going with this.
I have a situation literally right now. Literally right now at this moment that I'm dealing with, where the person is so toxic, so fucking toxic that even when I think my biggest thing, right, is there's intent, and then there's also how you make somebody feel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, or how the person perceives it. Mm-hmm. Your intent may not be rude. Your intent may not be wrong. Your intent may not be fucked up. Like, however, that's just what it is. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? So you can do something in intent. Like I could be talking right now, smack this cup. I didn't intend to do that. But if this spills on your shoes, I'm going to say, oh, my bad, bro. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? That wasn't my intent. This person will literally, well, that wasn't my intention, and talk over you the whole entire time, where it's like, so if this is my issue and you're talking over me the whole time, at what point, or like, what are you even arguing? Because you don't even know what my feeling is towards the situation.
Correct. You don't even know if how I feel is how you feel. And I feel like they don't even let you get to the point where it's, I understand how you feel, but let me tell you how I feel. Because you gotta accept how I feel in order for us to come to some sort of resolution. If you don't do that, we're never going to get there.
And I think that controlling piece of it, and that always thinking that you're right, like kind of translates into being like almost feeling like you're godly, like you're better than all. You know what I'm saying? You're better than all, that anybody else's perspective or thinking or anything like that does not surpass yours. It doesn't hold a flame to it or whatever situation. What did they say? Like Kanye West, like I am a god. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he thinks that he's God. I used to fuck with Kanye heavy. Like,
you don't fuck with him no more?
I fuck with Kanye just off of the strength that I grew up fucking with Kanye. Like that
I like
was my
Kanye for visionary. Like he
Yeah.
does see things into the future
crazy, yeah.
and see how things will transpire.
I think that just at some point he lost, and he used to be very like conscious and stuff like that, but I think at some point he just kind of like lost a little bit of sense of reality. You know what I'm saying? I think that he was removed from that world and like became toxic. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you just had this like godly feel to you.
Everyone around him was kind of separating from him.
Yeah, like everybody's separated from you. You beef with everybody, you know what I'm saying? And
But I gotta say this though. Everybody may think you toxic, but what if you saying stuff that is true and they just think you toxic? But it's like y'all not hearing me out.
then maybe they're the toxic ones if
Maybe
they're not
they
hearing you out.
toxic.
Yeah, because part of that is you have to hear the other person out.
Yeah.
You got to hear the other person out.
Like what if he just wasn't toxic? It just y'all didn't see his vision at that time.
Yeah. Well, with not seeing the vision, I think that you still have to look at it. When you have a disagreement, you have to still look at it from the other person's perspective, and then after you obviously have your perspective, you look at it from their perspective, and then take your feelings out of it and make damn near like an educated decision or an educated judgment call on the situation
Right.
by itself. Like look at it almost damn near black and white.
Right.
And yeah, like that's being selfless. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I think that goes into just being selfish. Like when you don't try to see the other person's side, when you're only worried about what the fuck it is that's going on with you.
So like think about it like I think about stuff like it's toxic relationships, right? Like forget toxic friendships. Mr. Toxic himself. It's a lot of toxic.
I'm one toxic trait away from motherfucking the king himself, Future. You feel me?
It's a lot of toxic
one trait away.
relationships. And I think toxic relationships per se can become that selfishness. Whereas though you know you're toxic, you know you're not good for this person, but for your own selfish needs, you want to keep this person around. Like you know you're not going to do them right. You know you still going to do you. But instead you want them for the fact of I love you, but I know I'm still going to do you wrong. It's like, let that person go and be happy because if you don't, it's just going to be a toxic situation. You're going to be in arguments that you don't even want to be in.
You're just being fucked up to that person. But do you think...
And yourself, because you got to deal with the backlash that's coming from all the arguments with them, all the ways they treat you because you're toxic.
You know
and then
what?
you mad at them because they treating you away.
I've actually had a situation like that. I've had a relationship before where I was toxic. You know what I'm saying? Like first everything was great, and then I became toxic because I've always had the toxic trait of like in relationship I don't give a fuck, like, you know what I'm saying, if this shit don't work out you feel me? And I was being toxic and the person was just dealing with it, you know what I'm saying? I'm just being selfish, like
it's a ball building up.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what happened. I just didn't give a fuck. And then once you stop giving a fuck, and then you become the toxic person, and then now we're having all of these issues, and then now that I'm self-reflecting and being like, damn, you know, I could have did that better, or I could have did da-da-da-da, or this is fucked up, like, you know what I'm saying? You wouldn't want nobody doing that to you. And then you start trying to change, and now this person's just toxic as fuck, like, you're like, y'all done flip sides.
Yeah.
And now you got to deal with all that shit.
How do you come back?
How do you come? So wait, that's actually a good question. So do you think that if you are in a toxic situation, you are in a toxic relationship, friendship, and it's just straight toxic, like
Both parties toxic.
Both parties toxic as fuck. Like y'all cannot move past the go. Can you get past that? Can it change?
Can you untoxify the situation?
Can you untoxify? Can you detoxify?
Detoxify the situation.
The relationship.
To detoxify a relationship, I think that causes for separation. It calls for you to know what, okay, so I can say me, being in a situation that is toxic, I have to separate myself from it and understand what I have and what I will be missing if I continue my path. Guaranteed. Because if I'm in it, I don't see it. And that's me. I can say that for myself. If I'm in it, I don't see it. So I have to separate myself and be like, all right, so this person was doing X, Y, and Z for me, and because I was acting like this is what transpired. And now they're acting like that. We both need to understand that if we continue like this, it's going to be over for us.
I call that the whirlwind. I call that getting caught up in the whirlwind.
Okay.
So I basically, when I say getting caught up in the whirlwind, that's basically saying like, you're in the situation's moving so fast, everything's just going on around you, and you just like doing what, you know what I mean? Like you don't actually have the time to sit down
and take a grasp on the actual situation
right on the situation at hand, because you're caught in the situation, you're caught up in the whirlwind. You don't have that time to take a step back, self-reflect, and say, you know what, this person was right, or I could have did this better in that situation, or this is where that person's coming from. Like, even though you're wrong, this is why you're wrong, and this is what's causing you to even maneuver like this.
Right.
So let me help point this out. You know what I'm saying? Just getting caught up in the whirlwind, and when you take a back seat and you take a step away from it. So I think that we both agree that in relationship, you have to take a step out of it, have some alone time, see whether the situation is worth moving forward, and then saying, you know, like, all right, this was my wrong, this was your wrong, and this is, you know, how I'm going to rectify my issues. And then I honestly, even sometimes, like, I see that this is an issue for you, like, let me help you out, like, you know what I'm saying, let me point this out to you in a respectful manner, and then assist you with moving forward.
So have you had a story where you were just toxic?
A million.
Damn.
Like, what? So where do you want to start? Like, you know, like in what sense? Because we didn't even touch. So that's relationships. Because we didn't even touch on like the toxic friend shit.
So yeah, toxic friendships where people were toxic to you or you were toxic.
And matter of fact, I'll do this, and then we'll go into like the fucking, you know what I mean, our own personal. So like a toxic friendship, right? Actually, matter of fact, you pointed this out to me, right? You pointed this out to me. I said, so I'm about to move into my, you know what I mean, this new place and shit like that, blah, 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 blah. And so when I'm getting ready to move and all that, everybody know I'm about to move. All my friends know I'm about to move. You know what I mean? They like, oh, nigga, it's lit. Like, you feel me? As soon as, you know what I mean, you get the new spot, we gonna have a party. It's about to be lit. You got the little, you know what I mean, hyping it up. So they, you know what I mean, they being good friends in that moment. You know what I'm saying? When you think about it, like, you know, like, yeah, bro, it's lit. However, when you think about it, if you're always there for somebody, friendships are not always just about like taking. Like, oh, I just want to come over, have a good time. Right. The first question when I told my bro that I was moving or whatever, you know what I mean, at that time, he said, oh, all right, do you need help moving? Like, you know what I'm saying? All right, on next Saturday, I'm free. Boom, boom, boom. You get the truck, we can
Right.
And that made me realize, like, damn. A lot of other people, when you there for them, like, you know what I'm saying, somebody could...
It's not reciprocated.
Right, you know what I mean? Somebody could go do something. I'll pull up on them, make sure they straight, do this and that for them, But then when it's, you know what I mean, the other person's turn, is that a toxic? That's a toxic trait.
That's toxic because you got to think about, in business and in friendships and anything, the things that you do are your friends, like you said, going to be down for you the way you down for them.
Right.
When it takes zero effort to help your friends, to promote your friends, support your friends in a time of they down at this time. They might not be working right now during this pandemic. They might not. It's a lot of stuff. Do you reach out to them? Do you make sure everything is okay, or is it always you up? Let me come around now, or you can help me. Let me hit you up now. It got to be reciprocated, because if it's not, then it's toxic. Yeah. This is a situation that's continually taken from me. And I don't have to deal with this, because what am I getting out of it?
Right. I'm so busy doing my thing and filling up your cup when you low.
Yeah.
At what point do you come back?
Because when I'm low, are you there for me?
Right.
Because I don't need nothing. I don't do things in a sense of let me do this because I want something in return. I do it because I genuinely care about somebody or I fuck with them. But if it come time where I'm down or I need something or I want you to support me on what I'm doing, are you going to do it?
I pay attention to that a lot.
Cause you have to pay attention to it.
It's very rare that I ever need anything from any of my friends. Right. Like, I am the most self-sufficient person ever. Like, I've been like that since a teenager. I was forced to be like that. I've never been toxic. The fuck? This nigga, you ain't... What? Excuse me, y'all. Hold on, wait. Digging this nigga ass real quick. The fuck you talk... Nigga, that's a toxic trait right there for you to sit there and say... That you've never been toxic? Never, bro. You've never been toxic?
Never.
That's toxic.
I've been in a lot of situations, and everybody always do shit to me, bro. I'm the one that's always, you know what I'm saying? I keep it real 100% every time.
But
so you keep it, so you can keep it real, because I'm gonna keep it real ass nigga too. I'm gonna tell you about yourself, and that's why I'm gonna keep it real in this moment. Nigga, you're toxic. Yeah. Anybody, if you can say that you've never been fucking toxic, and I hope that you viewers are listening to this, and if any of y'all said the same nut shit that this nigga just said.
You toxic
as fuck with your toxic ass. The fuck? I ain't never been wrong.
Toxic.
Keep this shit rolling. We gonna have to take this off camera with this nigga. What the fuck?
Bro.
Where was I at, man? Hold on, wait. Have you been toxic?
I've been toxic.
When have you been toxic? Like give me an example of when you've been toxic.
So we can I've been toxic in a relationship.
This nut in the background.
I can say I've been toxic in a relationship where it was, if I did somebody wrong, I wanted to keep them around because of my own selfish needs, and I wanted them because I love them. I like what they do to me and do for me. But am I doing that back for them? Am I giving them the best life possible, or am I only causing headaches? So that was me being toxic, and I had to realize, like, nah, maybe they need to go spread their wings somewhere else and be okay, because with me, it's a constant argument, it's a constant headache. We might gotta separate. I don't want to be that person that's just gonna drain you.
Yeah.
But people are like that in relationships. They constantly want what they want, and they only look at their
self-serving.
Point of view. Yeah. You don't want that.
And then when it's time to reciprocate,
you'll lose a lot of people, a lot of great people like that.
Oh, guaranteed, because the people.
A lot of great.
And what happens is generally when you do that, when you act like that in a situation, generally it's the person that's really down for you,
right? That
you're doing that to, because you're just
walk over them.
Right. You get so accustomed to them just being
what it is.
Right. So hopefully, yeah.
But people need that. People need the balance too. People need to also notice that you can't always have them people you gonna walk over. You need somebody that's gonna check you sometimes. Like me as a man, I want to be the head, the this, the that, but I need somebody that's gonna be like, nah,
I can't even
forget all that. Like that's not how it's going.
Anybody that's around me, from relationships, friendships, anybody that I have, continuous communication with or whatever that's close to me, you have to have somewhat of that stand-up personality. Even if you're a chill-ass person, you have to have that stand-up, because sometimes I can be a lot. Like, my toxic trait is I'm controlling. You feel me? I'm controlling this shit. Like, and I'm not even and I've learned it, and I've understood that about myself. I've done like some self-reflecting, and I've
introspect.
Yeah,
Exactly,
and I did that over the years, so I kind of understood that about myself. So I have gotten better with it. But I've always had that perspective of, like I was saying earlier, it's my way or the highway. Like, you know what I'm saying? I always looked at it as, you know what I'm saying, nigga, this is my life. You know what I'm saying? So if I don't want to do that, nigga, I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying?
But you also, in a sense, have a right to do that too.
You have a right to do that, but you have to do it within reason. You can't just move around and
you can't just say fuck every situation.
Every single situation.
That's a person that's toxic. That's like,
you're toxic as fuck.
That. I don't care. I don't want. You just throwing shit to the wind.
If I said before, like, we're doing this on Wednesday, and you say, oh no, well, you know what I mean, let's do this on Thursday. Nigga, we're not doing it. That's it. Like, cut. Like, this whole chop everything. Yeah. Even my friends down, and all of my friends will tell you, I used to be like this. I probably still am like this, no lie. I hit my friend, be like, yo, you trying to go to happy hour? Or you trying to go grab something to eat real quick, try to grab a drink? Because that's, in this moment, that's what I want to do. Right. They'll be like, oh yeah, I just got to, just give me 2 hours. I'm not doing that shit in 2 hours. Like, I want to go get a drink right now at this moment. Yeah. And if it's not happening at this moment.
Child syndrome.
Yeah, like, but that's toxic as fuck. Like, nigga, who do you think that you are to hit somebody, hit a John or a friend or anybody that you fuck with and say, like, this needs to happen right now. And if it doesn't happen at this moment, it's cut.
So you can admit that.
That's why I'm not toxic.
These are the wrong things.
I've detoxified.
You detoxified.
I've detoxified.
Okay.
I'm detoxifying. I'm not detoxifying. I'm detoxifying.
I had to look again.
Listen, you know what? And I bring this up every time. I've gone to therapy. You know what I'm saying? I've talked to, and I'd highly recommend this for any, not just my black brothers, males, and you know. Right. I think that everybody. I can't stress this enough. Therapy is so when you're ready though. Because I've gone to anger management when I was young and all that, but that was all forced on me, but it didn't work. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't
ready for it.
I wasn't ready to receive. As I got older, and I was like, oh, this would be fun, like blah, 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 like, you know what I mean, deal with some stuff. You actually learn a lot, and my therapist taught me that. Like, my therapist taught me that the reason why, like, I'm controlling and at certain times I can be selfish is because I learned to be that way. Like, right. Growing up, I had to be that way. I had to grow to make sure that I'm good. Like, you know what I'm saying? So when it comes down to it, in any situation that I'm in, I have to be good.
Yeah.
But now you're older, you're successful, you're good. Like, you got people around you that love you, that fuck with you. You don't have all of these bad things going on. You don't have to always you can loosen up, nigga. Like, you know what I mean? Unbutton your shirt. Like, it's okay. Like, let your guard down. It's cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to be, because what happens is it becomes toxic to other people around you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because
so
at
I
a
learned
younger
that.
age, when you was trying to progress, you had to look out for self
I had
to get
to.
to the place that you wanted to be.
Man,
but now
listen.
that you got people around you and you want to bring them into your life, you got to kind of let the guard down.
Listen,
Us as people, I can't even just say you. Me
Yeah,
too, because I've grown up to be like, I don't know, man. I was grown to just be kind of like tough, but I don't want to be tough. Like I want the
just to
to be all right.
Yeah,
But
my therapist always said that about me. She was like, "You're such a good person," blah 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 blah. But she always said like, "You just were raised to be that way. Like you were just raised to make sure that self is good." And at that time, you had to do that for survival.
yeah,
You're not in survival mode no
You
more.
are.
You know what I'm saying? You're good. Like you're okay. Like relax. Like you know what I mean? So I think that's one thing. And actually, matter of fact, and I'll put that in my section of staying ahead of the wave. Like
okay,
the self-reflection piece, because I think that's what I had to do. But I think like a way to do that is therapy. Like for real, like niggas need to go to therapy. I'm gonna push that to the day I die. Like you need to go and speak to people, because you will go through a traumatic experience, not even know that it's so much shit was brought up for me. She started talking about shit that I never even knew affected me.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Until she brought it to you.
and not even just until she brought it up, but she noticed that how I breeze past things. Like I'm like, oh yeah, that happened, but it's, you know what I mean, it's cool.
Yeah.
And then when she takes a deeper dive into it, and then you start to realize, like, damn, that's not cool. And I PTSD, and I suppressed it and I pushed it down because I just learned to be tough, and I learned to, like, you know what I mean, the survival of it. So I had to keep it pushing.
Yeah.
But then you learn, no, that actually affected me in this way, and that actually caused me to create this trait.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It caused me to move like this, to make sure that I'm always good, and that if this situation comes about again, it doesn't happen.
We normalize.
You normalize it. It's like if you lift weights every day, eventually your hands get callous if you don't got a what's the name.
Right.
And the reason why it does that is because it's normalizing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're doing this, like it's building up the protection from that.
Right.
But then at a certain point, you don't need that.
Yeah. Yeah.
If that makes sense. I don't know if that was a good.
I can understand it. Me staying ahead of the wave is just like looking for change within yourself. Being okay if someone is going to tell you about yourself, and being okay to understand it and take it in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you got to be okay with somebody telling you about yourself and not take it as somebody bashing you or belittling you. Because if you're not willing to change constantly, change is constant. And if you're not willing to
Guaranteed in the
change,
world.
you're going to stay in the same place and lose a lot of friends, a lot of situations, opportunities, because you want to be toxic and within yourself. and
Relationships,
selfish.
friendships, business.
You don't want to be selfish. You don't want to think that you can't become better.
Yeah.
At all times, you have to become better.
So we got going to therapy.
You have to go to therapy. Therapy is good.
Yeah, looking within self. You've even done that.
Yeah, I went to
Yeah,
therapy.
yeah. Look.
Therapy is great.
I was supposed to say it's good, right? Like that shit's actually good.
Didn't know that shit.
Yeah, I finally got this shit the fuck out. Like, damn, I didn't even know that. You know what I'm saying? That shit from when I was 5 affected me. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But so we have number one, you have to acknowledge the issue.
Yeah.
You have to acknowledge that you're toxic. Future.
Introspect on yourself. Look within yourself and see where you can change it.
And then after introspect, I think you have to go into admitting the problem. So if I've done something wrong or you've done something wrong, you need to admit it to the person that you've done wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the next step of it. Like,
And then look for change. Look for the ways that you can change it and see if it's even worth changing. Because some people want to change you for the good and some people want for their own selfish needs. So you got to look for the change and what can I do? How can I do this?
another toxic trait, I'm sorry. And when somebody is asking for that, I think that when somebody calls for change, you also have to look into why they're calling for change, and if they're being toxic by trying to control you, or if you're being toxic and they're just bringing something to your attention and trying to have a situation like that going on. If you hear this, you need to fucking listen. And then, you know what I'm saying? And
What? Stand on your word.
stand on your word.
If you mean something and you know that you good and it's not toxic, stand by your word. When
No
you
matter
say
what-
something, how you feel, where you going, this is how I feel, this is my lane, I'm going to stand on this, and this is what I live by.
And no matter what comes with that. So you may lose some people in your life
Yeah.
that you really value, but at the same time, if they're being toxic and you're trying to grow as a person, sometimes honestly you have to shed dead weight to grow.
Yeah.
So understanding that like cutting off somebody is not the same as you beefing with everybody, like you being a toxic person, but sometimes you have to I've had to let a lot of people go. Let people go and grow.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about.
I had to let a lot of people go. People that was close to me, people that I wish that was around. But if we not gonna grow together, and then it may come off as though you're envious or like you can't grow with me, I gotta let you go because I'm gonna be in a stagnant place and I'm gonna continually try to pull you up. And if we can't help each other, or you're constantly
and I'm trying to pull. I'm
me.
Not even that. I'm trying to pull you up, and you trying to pull me down.
Right.
I've had that.
I'm not tug of warring with nobody.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull you up. I'm trying to lift you up.
Nah.
I'm trying to put you on, and you trying to pull me down to your nigga. No, you gotta go.
Dead. Goodbye.
It's dead. So I think that's the our tips on how to stay ahead of the wave. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With your toxic ass.
Can't have it.
You feel me? And it's a motherfucking wrap. You know what I'm saying? That's episode 7, baby. You know what I mean? Hopefully we you know what I mean?
Help somebody.
Help somebody. Help somebody.
Don't be
Go
toxic.
to therapy.
Please, tomorrow, look it up.
Go to therapy, man.
All right.